Hey watch friends, today we're going to be taking a look at the latest offering from Zelos. This is their brand new model, the Spearfish. And do note, as you can see from the sealed package here, as is often the case, I prefer to do candid unboxings with you all. None of these opportunities would be possible without the support of you, so I of course want to enjoy in the experience with you. So that being said, let's go ahead and pop this open and see which version we ended up getting here. In typical fashion, that is going to be sealed up, so let's bust out a knife. Alright, let's pop this open. Okay, so in typical experience here for Zelos, if I can actually get this out of this box here, or out of this bag, there we go. All right, in typical fashion here, you can see the outer just plain cardboard box. This is how they generally ship for them. If you're not familiar with Zelos, just got a flap here. Let's go ahead and pop that open. And I do want to mention this watch was sent into the channel for review from Zelos. I'm honestly not sure whether this is a loaner or I'll be sending it back. So I do want to mention that up front. One way or the other in here, I'll let you all know. So this is their new packaging here. This is the aluminum. You can see it's a nice extruded aluminum with the brush finish. We first looked at this on the Starfighter recently. So this is all new packaging for them. Very nice metal construction. This hinge, I will say, this one seems to be a little bit looser, but still obviously clasps there. And it's of course just packaging anyways. All right, so it looks like we've got the frost variety here. And then just as with the other ones, you can see they did address this one stayed put, though it was trying, actually, if I pan down, you can see the this was popped up a little bit here, but they did tape that into place to keep that from bouncing around. So there are going to be several variants of this available for this new Spearfish model. The one we're looking at today is the Frost, which if you're not familiar with Zelos, that means it's going to be a full loom version. You can see this one has the orange accents. There's additionally, and we'll talk about some of the highlights here, and of course, I'm going to have a full review coming. We'll go into this in full depth, get its size, see it on wrist, get much better lighting indoors. Right now, it's sleeting outside, so can't get the good footage for you, but we'll have that in the full review. But there's going to be two different bezels that are available. There's the 12-hour bezel that you can see here. That's going to be a bi-directional bezel. Let's go ahead and test that out. Yeah, as you know, they've forewarned us on the 12-hour bezel. I will tell you, this is pretty mushy. It's a very, very soft. It feels like it clicks okay into place, but definitely not one of the more satisfactory Zelos bezels that I've experienced there. But Elshon mentioned that up front because of the bi-directional mechanism in this, that it was going to be on the softer side. There is also, though, going to be a 120-click unidirectional bezel. That should have the typical Zelos good feel to it. That's going to be the dive style variant. So it depends on which version you go with as to which bezel configuration it comes with. But the main takeaways for this, and let's go ahead and pop off some of this plastic so we can get a little better look. The main takeaways with the Spearfish, this is intended, if you're familiar with the Zelos Swordfish, you're going to see some similarities. And I'm going to set this aside so we can get into the watch. That's all we want to really check out here today anyways. So the Swordfish, which there have now been, there's the original Swordfish, there's been titanium variations, there's been 2 generations, then there was the Swordfish 40, and there's the Swordfish 40 in multiple variations with bronze and titanium and all that. This is going to be most analogous to the Swordfish 40 in that it is a 40mm watch, which, giving you some initial specs, will cover it in full depth in my measurements in the review, but it's going to be a 40mm case. The lug to lug is stated as 47mm. The lugs are a standard 20mm. The thickness is only 11.5, so nice and slim there. And I'm going to save the best for last as far as the real highlight. And I just noticed we've got a sticker on here, so let's get that peeled off so we can actually get a better look of at this dial. All right, there we go. That's better. So the real highlight for this one is going to be the movement, which let's give it a little bit of shaking here and see if we can get that started up. So the movement in this is the real claim to fame. Unlike the prior Swordfish variants, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it a few winds. Unlike the prior Swordfish variants, where they were typically available with an NH35, and then that changed around as far as different configurations. And on the early versions, they were available with an ETA movement as well. But those were pretty pricey for that. And I will tell you, this one's not going to be the cheapest either. That being said, man, this is taking a heck of a lot of winding. I'm glad I wasn't shaking this forever. We would have been here for an hour to get this movement started up. All right, there we go. Got it going now. So this is really going to be the highlight and hallmark of the Spearfish. Across the board, it was going for effectively a more refined version of the Swordfish. And part of that, you couldn't leave off the movement. So this one, and I apologize in advance for my pronunciation, this is a Joux-Perret G100 for the movement. So that's a new from LJP. That is a new movement available from them. It is effectively designed to be an answer to like a 2824. It's actually a direct drop-in for the 2824 in terms of sizing and everything for that, so SW200, etc. The real claim to fame of that, though, is not only does it appear to be, because of the Citizen tie, a Miyota-based movement where it looks very similar to the 9015 as far as configuration, though this is bidirectional for the rotor. The real claim to fame for that is 68-hour power reserve. That's going from, I believe, 38 on the ETA 2824. This bumps it up to 68 hours, which is just crazy, especially for this price point. Which, speaking of price point, this is going to launch for the standard dial versions, which this would be included in that, at $649 starting price. So not cheap, but for getting a relatively premium movement, or at least entry-level premium movement, however you want to characterize it, from a Swiss manufacturer, that is something, to me, I think is very compelling value. Additionally, this is going to have the hardened coating on all the surfaces, so it's going to be 1200 Vickers of scratch resistance. It has the nice things like the quick adjust bracelet, so you can pull that in and out and do toolless micro adjust on the fly there with ratcheting. On the back, you're going to have quick release spring bars, so you can pop that bracelet loose to change straps around. As with most Zelos, and let's take a look from some angles here, this does not have drilled lugs, but look how slim that mid case is. Nice appearance there. You can see an undercut for the bezel, and then nice kind of wide queen edge for the top there. On the back, it is going to have an exhibition case back, and as you can see, it has nice Geneva striping. We'll get the stickers and everything pulled off, but nice Geneva striping across that for the movement, as well as the rotor. That rotor is a tungsten rotor as well. So, you're really getting a lot for this as far as overall specs. Obviously, I want to reserve judgment until I've spent some time with it. Certainly, popping it out of a box or looking at pics isn't enough for me to give you an opinion on this. But overall, I do like what I'm seeing. There's already some little niggles with this, as we already saw with the movement action, or the bezel action rather. Those kind of things that we'll check out more in the full review. But I wanted to give you at least a first look. As you can see here, one of the oft requested items is a female end link on Zelos. That typically is not the case. So you can see that they brought that over. Bracelet articulation, as usually is the case, is just fantastic here. Nice, perfect drape all the way around for that. So that should be very, very comfortable on wrist and across the board. I'm looking forward to spending some time with this. Not only will I have the full review coming, where we'll go into all the details, we'll look at this up close, we'll get outdoor footage, get it on wrist, give you loom, give you a little bit of everything for that, plus cover everything with my measurements, my feedback in more depth. But additionally, I'll do another video where I actually compare this with the Swordfish 40, so you can really look at them in depth side by side. So I hope this has been a fun first look for you. If you did like this, please do hit that like button. Additionally, if you want to check out this video or a variety of other ones that I have coming, please do make sure to smash that subscribe button. Helps me out, and ultimately, it will help bring you good content. Thanks for watching.